How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Airport CEO and welcome back to Belfast City Airport. Today, I want to get a little bit busy, but first I want to do something a little bit simple because I've realized that I forgot about self-check-in and bag drop as options for our passengers. Right now, they have to go to the check-in desks if they want to check in or if they want to drop off their bags. We can do away with all of that and make things much simpler. We can get rid of these queues that we have down here. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to slightly change some of this space. So we're going to go to the bulldozer, get rid of this trash can. We're going to get rid of all of this as well. And we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side because we're going for symmetry here. We don't need to go for symmetry, but it's what I'm going for because I just happen to like a little bit of symmetry and it'll make things look kind of interesting. So then what we'll do is go and get ourselves some decorations. We'll go and get ourselves some hedge and put it here. We'll put a little bit of hedge on this side as well. And we'll get ourselves some walls for this spot and for this spot. And these two sections are going to be where we put self-check-in and where we put bag drop, because I think that's probably going to be for the best. Now, if you don't know how those things work, it is relatively simple. The self-check-in is this, essentially. It's a little kiosk where you just go up and you scan your boarding pass on your phone or something like that, and you are checked in. You're pretty much good to go to security. And then if we go to, it might be in desks as well. Do we have bag drop in here? I honestly don't remember. There it is. So baggage drop is this thing. Similar idea. You're basically dropping off your own bags instead of, running them through one of these desks. And it's a good system. I genuinely really love any airport that lets me drop off my own bags. It's just so much easier, so much simpler, and so much better. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and say that bag drop is going to be 1, 2, 3 on this side. We'll do 1, 2, 3 on this side, and that should be just fine. And then for the self-check-in part of this whole thing, what we'll do is go to security, go to desks, whatever it is, get ourselves some self-check-in. And I want to say we can have a little bit of fun with this, although it might be kind of chaotic if I do it. If I do it this way, is that too much? Oh, I can't do it that way. Okay. So maybe just across here, or maybe sort of down the back, we just do 3 of these kiosks, or we could kind of double it up, I guess, and we could do like 4 of them. I don't know. There's not as much space here as I was hoping for, to be quite honest. I was hoping for a little bit more space. I guess if I wanted to, I can do 5 of them, and that'll be okay. I guess that doesn't hurt. We'll do 5 of them and see how that plays out. We might need more of them. It might be a little bit chaotic, but we'll allow it for now. What I'm also going to do is a section of wall right here and a section of wall right here. We'll go ahead and get ourselves some conveyor belt systems and say that we want a high-speed escalator down to be right about there and right about there. And then we'll get ourselves some high-speed conveyor belts going across like this. And that's how we're going to get the bags down to these conveyor belts, which are perfectly lined up. It's almost like I planned this. And there we go. That's basically going to let people check themselves in, and it is hopefully going to be a good thing. It's hopefully going to make things a little bit smoother. What we can also do is copy and paste these benches just to kind of fill up the space that little bit. I'll do this as well, and then just take these guys out. So there we go. It'll give us some benches back. It's maybe not as many as we had before, but I think this will be good. I think people will enjoy this. I think it'll be good for them. And we can also, if we want to, go ahead and get these painted in the same blue that we're using for just about everything else. So get those all painted up in that lovely dark blue. And we should start to see people using this. These guys might be stuck, is a bit of a problem, but we'll see what happens there. I'm not really super concerned about it. I just kind of want to see people use these things. I don't think they have to be connected to anything. Oh, not connected to a baggage bay. So I do have to connect these out to you. I'm hoping, is there a limit on the number of these things I can connect to a single baggage bay? I'm really hoping there isn't. I want to say there might be. I'm going to have to look at that baggage bay in just a second. I can't remember if I'm thinking of this game or if I'm thinking of Sim Airport. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm almost certain one of them has a limit on the number of things that can go to baggage. So this guy has 8 ramp agents. It has stand connections total maximum 12. I guess small stands count as 1 point, 1.5. Okay, so you can have up to 12 points. So in that case, you could have what, up to 12 small stands, up to 6 large stands. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many places are sending bags to the baggage bay. It's about how many stands the baggage bays are operating for. So that's fine. We'll make that work. Not a big deal. We're probably going to be doing a completely separate baggage setup for the international part of the airport anyway, which is going to be the main focus of today's episode. So let's get things a little bit brighter. Let's get to morning and let's get to planning. And actually, just before we do that, there are now so many people wanting to use self-check-in and self-bag drop. This is perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for. It's absolutely perfect. There's so many bags coming and going. Honestly, these guys are going to be pretty swamped. They really are. These guys are going to be pretty swamped here. I'm almost tempted to expand my security setup so we have a couple more of these tier 3 desks, but I'm not super concerned about it. The only thing we might want to do is get a couple more baggage cars, because looking at it, I mean, this guy's coming into departures, he's loading up with some stuff, but there's a lot of bags still there. So I think what we'll do is go to vehicles, go to purchase, and we'll grab ourselves, I guess, another couple of baggage cars. We'll get maybe 3 of them. I don't know if we need 3 of them, but I also don't know how many of them we have. I suppose I can take a look if we filter by baggage cars. We only have 2 of them. So yeah, getting 3 of those is probably not a bad idea. That's definitely not going to be a bad idea. That's going to help us out a little bit, and it might speed things up. We might have fewer delays in and out of this airport. Now, something I'm a little concerned about is my balance at the moment. We did make money yesterday. We are making money today. We're definitely not making as much money as we have been, though, which is, it's a bit of a shame. It was nice making $200,000 every day and being able to get up to $3 million relatively quickly, but I guess we're not doing that anymore, so fair enough. I suppose, though, it is time to plan. So I'm going to try and remember to let the game run while I do this. That's something I always forget to do in City Skylines. I forget to do it in Prison Architect. We're going to let the game run while we plan this out. So planning mode is on. Everything down here is gray. Let's go to aircraft infrastructure. Let's start looking at runway ramps and let's see what exactly we can do. So structure position not valid. Interesting. Is that because there's a fence in the way? That might be because there's a fence in the way. Okay, well, that's slightly annoying. Okay, so this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 big squares back. So if I go into taxiway foundation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, and we want it to be, I want to say, is it 7 across? So let's do like a 7 by 7 square, and then the connection goes here. And then we want to go down this way and do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, we want to do 7 by 7. And that's essentially going to be where the large aircraft can kind of get on and off the runway. Now, what I think I'll do is go for, I'm going to try and use a lot of space here. So I'm going to do another 7 by 7 at either end. And that's going to give us a little bit of a buffer. But I want to connect these together. It's going to be super expensive to do this. It's $287,000 right there. But that's going to give us space for these aircraft to kind of loop around and do what they got to do, which is something I think they're going to want to do. And we have all this space up here for the international terminal, which is what we're going to be building as well. So these guys can loop around, do their thing, and have a great time. What we'll do now, I guess, is a 7 by... I'm going to say 7 by 14 in these sections. Again, I don't know if this is necessarily the right way to do it, but we'll give it a shot. I'm kind of just winging this. I don't know if it's obvious, but we'll do 7 by 14, and that'll be fine. I'm debating whether or not, I just want to do a row of large stands like this the entire way across. So it would be something like, say these guys connected to the taxiways down here. It'd be, you know, something kind of like this the entire way across, connecting to one big terminal. Or what I could potentially do, I guess, I don't know if this is the best idea, but we could do something like, you know, stands kind of this way with the terminal kind of wrapping around them, which might be neat. I just need to figure out exactly what my spacing would be on this. So let me try taking these guys out and see what that would look like. We left a little gap of 2 down at the bottom, which is fine. What is this? Dangerous baggage was loaded. Okay, so my security is definitely suffering, which I don't love. Can I? Oh, I can't buy those tiles up there. Okay. This might also be a problem because I have got all this space over here I could play with as well, but we'll see. I want to see what this looks like. So if I do, what is that? 7 right there, and then 3 and 3. And then I do another sort of 7, 3, and 3. So that's kind of, I don't know about this. This would then be 7 by whatever that is. So 7 by 43. We do another 7 by 7 square, another 7 by 7 square here. And then we do essentially something like this, right? So it's going to be a bunch of stands facing each other. I don't hate that. I think that's going to look a lot more interesting than just a big row of large aircraft. And I think this might be better for the flow of traffic, essentially. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I'm also kind of thinking that what we would do is have this taxiway go the entire way across here as well. So it's kind of that little double thing going on there with these connections straight through might be really good for, again, the flow of aircraft. It's only going to give me probably, what is that, 8 large aircraft stands? I could probably get more if I expanded this way. I don't know that I want to do that. I mean, it's 1 point. I've got the game paused, don't I? I did. Every time I knew it was going to happen. Let's do, so 7 there and then 7 by 3. We'll kind of space this out and just see what it looks like. So that's going to be 7. That's 7 by 3 and 7 by 3. Oh, you know what's annoying? I've just noticed that these things are asymmetrical. That's really annoying. We've got a gap of 2 down here and a gap of 3 here, but the aircraft line up in the same way. That's frustrating, is what that is. That is very, very frustrating. How would I want to fix that? I guess what I can do is have these be askew a little bit. So these guys need to be more like here. No, not there. Need to be here and here. And they're now in line. And then these guys need to be moved down a little bit. So you would be here and you would be here. And yes, that messes with the taxiway, but what I can do and what I think I would do is just expand these taxiways down a little bit. Maybe just fill the entire space with taxiway. That might be ridiculously expensive, but I think that's probably what we do. I'll expand them up as well so that we kind of have those chunky taxiways leading into these guys. And it also keeps everything symmetrical, which is kind of what I'm going for. So these guys will be expanded this way. These guys will be expanded this way and this way. And then all we would do is have these taxiways kind of, they'd be offset essentially, which is fine. I don't think that's the end of the world. It's gonna look relatively symmetrical from everywhere else, so I'm not super concerned about it. We just have some thick taxiways, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit thick, all right? I happen to like my taxiways thick. So, you know, there you go. There's a little, I don't know where I'm going with that. Yeah, so this is kind of what it would look like. We have this big space in the middle, which I don't know what I'd do with this. To be quite honest, I'm almost tempted to say we put some medium aircraft stands in there. We could put some service stuff in here, actually. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe baggage handling and a lot of the service stuff will go in here, and that's kind of what that space is for. That way we're kind of, yeah, we're just going to wrap this essentially in departure space. We can have the check-in space be kind of up at the top somewhere. And I think for getting traffic around here, we're just going to go into tunnels and have the tunnel emerge up this way. Meaning, yeah, this big central space here, it's either going to be a bunch of restaurants or it's going to be a bunch of service stuff. And I'm leaning towards service stuff, to be quite honest. I think that would make more sense, especially since I have these roads here. So we have these roads that can connect over like this and connect up to these guys. We can go straight over like this as well, straight over like this. And I think having baggage handling right in the middle of everything here would be kind of perfect. I definitely think that's the way to go. We could, if we wanted to, have a road that loops across the top as well. I don't think that'd be a terrible idea, sort of letting them loop around like that. We can't go through here because that's where a building's going to be. But if we wanted to, we could also come straight down here, which I'm not really against doing. I'm kind of liking the idea of giving my my vehicles a lot of options here. And then honestly, I think some 8x34 spaces here will be just fine for the departures area. I think we can do the same thing on this side, or 8x36 on this side. No, we'll do 8x34 on this side as well. And we can do 8x34 over on this side as well. And that'll just give us decent amount of space. I think that'll be enough space for those people to get around. Across here, honestly, doesn't need to be huge. This is kind of going to be, it's mostly going to be like the space you walk along. You kind of go across the concourse and then down into each section. So I think 69 by 5 is fine for that space. And that means that this side should be 69 by 5 as well. We can probably do a few shops along this, kind of treat it like a duty-free section, but that'll be just fine. This is now our midpoint, and this is all going to be service stuff. So baggage handling, for example, I wonder if I could get baggage handling in here. I know I can't do the catering thing in here because it has to connect to the public roads, so that's going to be slightly tricky. But I think I could get baggage handling in here. I think what we do is, I guess we need to figure out what it's going to need, right? So if we look at infrastructure and transportation, we're not going to be doing, well, we are going to need a vehicle checkpoint somewhere. I guess if the tunnel comes out over here or over here, we can put a checkpoint kind of in these little spaces to get access to these roads down here. So maybe that's kind of how we do it. Where does this go? So this would go here, I guess, is what we do with it. I'd say that's probably fine. I think that's what we'll do. So let's go ahead and get this service road connected. That's just a way in anyway. So we'll do something like this, and that's how the service vehicles get in. I'll figure out the public vehicles in just a second. But what else have we got? So sidewalks don't matter right now. Contractor site doesn't matter. Deliveries don't matter. Bus stops are going to matter, but we haven't got the front section done. I'm more interested in the aircraft infrastructure. So we're going to need things like vehicle depots. We're going to need a few of these, I think. So let's do one kind of on either side. That might be a bit excessive, but we'll give it a shot. We'll do one on either side. And then for the road on this, I guess it could be like a little one-way system or a one-way loop, so that should be all right. We are going to need hangars. Well, I don't know if we do need hangars, because these guys, this is a part of Terminal 1, which is never going to have a large aircraft. Huh. I don't know. I might have to work how the terminals work here. I don't love the idea of having this hangar down here if we don't really need it. Regardless, let's look at other things. We'll figure out hangars in just a second. We are also going to be needing service car stops. This enables ramp agents to be transported to and from remote stands. We're not doing remote stands, so we don't need it. We don't need the shuttle bus. We are going to need fuel depots. So let's do, what is this? I think it's Jet A1 for the commercial aircraft. So we'll do a fuel depot here. We don't need to go too crazy. I don't think we need another one. I think the one should be just fine. Catering we can't do because it has to connect to public roads. Well, we could do catering, but I'm not going to do catering, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. The waste depot is something I'd very much like to get in here. I wish this would fit the way I want it to fit right there, but it's not going to. That's unfortunate. But I think what we can do potentially is we could put it there. I think that'll be okay. So we'll put it kind of there, and that'll be all right. We've also got, do we have de-icing? I don't know that we do. We're probably going to need radar towers. We're probably going to need some tiles. We're going to need some utility buildings and things like that as well, like decorations, blast fences, ILS systems. We'll need more, but this is a start, I guess. We are going to, oh, the policing as well. So if we go to security, we're going to want an airport police station, which is not going to fit in there. And this guy's also not really going to fit in there. That's unfortunate. I mean, it will fit up here, but that's kind of where I want to put, the, what do you call it? The baggage handling stuff. So we'll not worry too much about it. I guess police and emergency can kind of go over here. It's not the worst place for it. I think that's kind of a cool spot actually. So we'll do the emergency thing. We'll do the police station, and those can kind of just sit off to the side there. They're kind of nicely out of the way as well, which is good. So I don't hate that. And then this entire space is going to be, like I said, that kind of weird one-way system I'd mentioned. So it's going to go up like this, across like this, and down. And then I guess what we want to do here is allow vehicles to kind of go this way and this way. I don't know how they're going to connect to this. That's going to be kind of weird, but we'll do this. And then baggage handling is going to be in here somewhere. We might need 2 things of baggage handling. How many? I think 6. I think 6 large stands can be maintained with what's this thing even called? So what am I looking at? conveyor belt system, the baggage thing. What's the word? Why can't I find it? Why can't I find the thing? The baggage bay. I need 2 of these. I'm 100% going to need 2 of these. So how is this going to work? I guess what we do is we go to terminal building. We do this, right? And that'll be fine. I want to bulldoze that section of wall, and I want to go and put a new section of wall right here. Back into the conveyor belt system, back to the baggage bay. Must be placed inside secure zone. We can totally do that. So this is going to be a secure zone. It's also going to be a staff zone. That's another thing we're going to need, staff rooms. We'll get those in just a second. But this guy would live, I want to say here, and I want to say there for the 2 baggage bays. And I think that'll be all right. Because what we can do is bulldoze these little sections of wall. So take those out completely. We can go to this, what do you call it? The secure service road thing. Bring it over. Bring this one over as well. Run them into the buildings. And I think that's actually kind of a cool spot for baggage handling. I'm not 100% sure how it's all going to link together to the check-in space, but I like that. I like that a lot. So let's go ahead and set these up as one-way roads, which I'm pretty... How do I do one-way roads? Is that an option in here by any chance? Hold on, wrong section. There we go, one-way road. So vehicles go that way, and vehicles go, I guess, just around. I guess that'll be fine. So that should let them kind of loop around. I guess what we can do is say that that's kind of like a little one-way section as well. And that looks all right. That kind of tucks our service stuff nicely away. We kind of nicely surround the aircraft stands. This is ridiculously expensive. Each of these stands, I think, is what, $200,000? It is, no, that's a runway, never mind. That's a hangar. My God, I'll find the right option eventually. $300,000. I'm hovering over all the wrong things today. It's that kind of day. It really is that kind of day. All right. So I think at this point, I'm not too worried about furnishing. We'll figure that out in a second. We can get rid of these walls. We don't need those. This wall can go as well. This wall can also go. We need a security space as well. I totally forgot about security. So we'll have to figure that out. But I think first and foremost, wait, have I done this wrong? Ooh, that wall should probably be right about there, actually. So let's go ahead and turn this little section into a secure zone as well. And also a staff zone right about there. And that now gives us a nice clean line across there, which is exactly what I'm looking for. This side, similar story. We'll go ahead and move this wall up just a little bit. And we'll actually, no, there's not even meant to be a wall there. What am I doing? That wall can just go away. And then on this side, it is also a similar story. We just want to fill in the corner and remove the wall. So this is all going to be secure. Every bit of this is going to be secure. So we'll set all of this to be secure. I'm wondering if I can just drag over the entire thing, which, no, I cannot. Okay, that's fine. So that's all secure zone 9. This is all going to be a part of secure zone 9 as well. We want to include all of this section in secure zone 9. And you know what? We'll go ahead and put a bunch of doors on here as well. I know I could, if I wanted to, I absolutely could upgrade these stands eventually to have jetways, but that's going to require a second floor on this terminal. And given how much this is going to be already, I'm not really inclined to do a second floor yet. We will do it eventually. We will eventually move towards jetways, which is going to be its own huge renovation project. I just really don't care to do it right now. I just don't think there's any point. I just think it's a waste of money. I really do. That's genuinely, I just think it's a waste of money to go for a jetway right now. We can't afford it, so we'll do things that way. We'll leave a little bit of grass in some of these spaces to be a little bit fancy, but that pretty much connects everything together, I think. Is this all now one secure zone? I believe it is. It's secure zone 4 with secure zone 8 in here. Those can overlap as well, though, to be fair. So what we can do is go and say, put a medium door there, and I guess a medium door there, and that should now all be part of one secure zone 4. There we go. So that's absolutely perfect. That gets everything nicely connected together. What we do want to say is that all of this is also going to be an international zone. Now, what's going to be tricky about that is that we do need some passport checkpoints for both entering and exiting the international zone. So we'll have to figure that out as well as security. It's generally, it's a lot. There's a lot of things to figure out before this place will be up and running, and that includes money. So we'll get there. I'm not really stressing too much about it. We do have the passport checkpoint and automated passport checkpoint. Let me actually read about these a little bit. So passengers traveling on international flights must pass through a passport checkpoint to have their passport screened and receive international clearance. And then you've got the automated ones as well. I'll probably just do a bunch of automated passport checkpoints because honestly, it's just easier, I guess, is kind of how I'm looking at it. But before we even get there, we need to figure out, how people are getting in here, because we do need the road connections. So let's go to infrastructure, I guess. Let's go to tunnels, and I guess we'll say road tunnel down. And I'm very tempted to just put it here. It's very, very tempting to put it there. But I think what we can do is maybe just sort of, I don't know, maybe we do just put it there. I guess right at the edge is probably not the worst place. So we'll do one here, and honestly, I'm going to do a couple of them. In fact, this one can go away, is what I'm thinking. I think we'll just do the one, because there's going to be some building structure here. So we'll do just the one for now. We'll bring this public road over. We'll line it up right here, because that's always going to be there, that connection. But the rest of this is just going to go all the way down here. This is going to look ridiculous, by the way. I just wanted to be aware of that. This is objectively going to look quite silly. And I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of not. Like, I'm not super proud of what I'm about to build. It is just going to be essentially a giant tunnel, but it is about the only way I think I can do this. So that's kind of just what it's going to have to be. So bring this guy all the way down. I want it to be nicely in line there. And if we do this, we can go underground. We can connect these guys together. This is still all part of planning mode, so none of it's going to get built yet. But that's basically what the connection is going to be for the international section of the airport. It's kind of stupid. It's kind of wild. It's maybe a little unrealistic, but that's just how we're going to do things. Now, when it comes to the check-in space, I think a lot of space is going to be kind of useful here. So let's do a 31 by 10 space right there. That is probably going to be enough for most of it, but we'll see what we can do. What I'm thinking we do though is a nice large door kind of either end like so. I'm kind of liking the idea of having these corners be a thing. I think that'll look kind of neat. In fact, I just put that door in the wrong place. In fact, what I might do is just bulldoze. Can I just take out that corner of the terminal there and then take out those doors? That's really not what I was looking for, but something like that. Just have that corner kind of there. It might just look interesting. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So take out these guys, replace them. We want to go to take out these sections of wall. We want to do exactly that same thing kind of down here as well, and then throw in those little sections of wall that are missing in the corners. And I just think it's interesting. I just think it's a bit different, right? It's an international terminal, right? It should be kind of fancy. So we'll do these fancy little missing sections of corner, which I don't know if it's fancy at all, but it's what we're doing. And so this right here is going to be our new check-in space for international flights. We've got a whole bunch of self-check-in, a whole bunch of bag drop, a whole bunch of check-in desks as well, and plenty of space back here for staff rooms. That is, in fact, just going to be a big staff area at the back. I also want to go ahead and see if I can get some garbage cans for back there, because I think that's probably just going to be a pretty good idea to have these sort of tucked into these spaces here. Just because I've got nothing else to put in those spaces, if I'm completely honest with you. So we'll put some garbage cans there. I could put some vending machines, but I think we'll do the garbage cans anyway, just because it fills in the space nicely. And then this is just going to be a whole space for queuing. People are going to be lining up and getting ready to go, which means security is going to have to be kind of in these spaces here, or it's going to have to be in here. And I'm kind of thinking in here, and in here makes the most sense. Because what we can do is have this giant security space on either side funnel into a passport check space. And then the arrivals can filter through a little separate space through a passport checkpoint into the arrivals space with the baggage carousels. So if we go to security here, we have some options. We have these large security checkpoints, which I mean, it's pretty chunky. I'm not too sure how many of these I can get in here, but I guess we'll find out. So if I was to do, say, half of this space as secure, maybe just over, so 23 by 27, we want to go to security checkpoints. We want to go to this one, and we can do 1. We can do 2. I don't love that I can only do 2 of these. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more than that, which is concerning. It's definitely concerning. I mean, these large ones are, I mean, they're going to be more efficient, right? I would imagine. No, they're just improved security screening. It doesn't say they're necessarily faster. Interesting. So if I was to do that, can I get like a medium one in the middle? No. Can I get a small one in the middle? Yes, I could get 2 small ones in the middle, which I don't love. I don't love the idea of being like, hey, here's some giant security stuff, and then here's 2 little teeny tiny ones. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not sure how else to do this though, because I guess it doesn't matter that much. I mean, it's an international zone. It kind of matters, but I also don't want to expand this room too much further. I guess if I wanted another one of these guys, how much would I have to expand it by? Like 1 more tile by the looks of it. I guess I can do 1 more tile. I can do 1 more tile, and we'll have that be how this space works. So if I just get rid of the excess walls there, and I go and get rid of the excess walls on this side as well, we expand the secure zones. So these zones are now going to be 23 by 31. So the same on this side, it's going to be 23 by 31. We should now be able to get 3 large checkpoints, which is probably not necessarily going to be enough for these large. Oh, that doesn't fit either. Well, that's annoying. That's really frustrating that it just doesn't fit. Okay. Tell you what we're going to do then. We're going to do this slightly differently. We're going to shuffle these guys up so they're going to be pressed up against that top wall. So there and there and there. And then what we'll do is take out this bit of wall, and I'm just going to move it up. And it's going to be a little bit of detailing inside of the terminal that wasn't previously going to be there, but it's frankly necessary because I need the security space to be, you know, locked down and tight in there. So that'll be fine. That's probably fine. And so this is roughly going to be our security and passport setup. We've got all these security spaces here and here with some massive queues that'll be built eventually. And then we have a mix of automated passport checkpoints and staffed passport checkpoints, which will fill up most of this space with queues as well. It's just going to be sort of luck of the draw which one you go to. Maybe there's some reason that your passport has to be manually checked. It doesn't really matter. It's just kind of for the fun of it. And then what we can also do, I suppose, is go ahead and put ourselves a nice large door. I'm going to say there, and I'm going to say a nice large door right about there. And that's how people get through to security once they've checked in. And that's going to let them into the departures space. Now, the thing we might also have to do is find a way for people to exit a secure international zone. And they're exiting a secure zone at the same time. So if we go and have a look at security and we look at security exits, these guys are 4 tiles across. So what I'm thinking for these things here is that we build ourselves some kind of little space for it. Would be kind of nice. So what if we were to do a little section of terminal, maybe just like a little 2 by whatever this is. So something like that, a little 2 by 6. And then my thinking would be, oh, I don't know how this would necessarily work because I put a wall there. Now 2 by 6 is maybe not going to cut it. Let's get rid of the 2 by 6. I can potentially do a 3 by 6. That's not necessarily going to do what I want it to do either. Let's do a 3 by 5 and see how that plays out. I'm kind of hoping for good things. I kind of have an idea for what I want this to look like. So you would enter this space here, I guess. I suppose. I guess I could do a smaller little door right about there. Should be fine. So you enter it about there. This is all going to be secure, except it's not. It's going to be secure up to about there and up to about there. And it's going to be international up to about there as well. I don't know if I actually need... I don't know how people exit an international zone. I've really got no idea. So passport checkpoints. So this has to cross international zone. So does that mean I can set it up this way where they can like exit? No, they have to... So I don't think I actually need... I don't think I need to go this crazy with it. I don't think I need to do this at all. I was going to say we have like queues to go through the passport checkpoints, but I don't think you actually need to go through a passport check. I think you just need to go through a security exit, which is fair enough, I guess. So that's going to work just fine unless I can do... I don't know, unless I'm being an idiot. Let me test something. If I get rid of you, can I... Or let's get rid of this bit as well. Can I do... this? I guess it has to be... So it has to be that way around. You have to queue... Oh, wait, no. Oh, I think we do need checkpoints. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's fine. That's kind of exactly what I'm looking for. So it needs to be in an international zone and then exiting an international zone. Okay. Sorry, this is gonna be slightly complicated in that case, which is a bit of a problem potentially. Oh man, how am I gonna do this? Right. Let me figure this out. So the security exit is going to be here. Right, so that's where they get out of this space, which means the international zone needs to come back to here. I want to say there, I think. No. Oh man, this is gonna be such a mess. International zone can come back. Oh man, this really is gonna be a mess. There's only gonna be 3 international checks here. So automated checkpoint goes this way around. Wait, is there only gonna be 3? No, there's only gonna be room for 2. Oh man, this space isn't big enough. I wanted to like, I want them to come in here, loop around, and then exit into baggage claim here. But that's not gonna work either. I wanted this to look cool, man. It's not going to. All right, so this is kind of what I'm thinking for this part of the airport. It kind of looks like a Space Invader. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm kind of liking the layout. We've got check-in, we've got security, passport control, and you can through passport control into the departures space, which admittedly still needs to be built. When you arrive to the airport, you come through here, you go through this door, which is going to bring you into a room full of queues to go through passport control, through a security exit, and then you have a choice. And the choice that you're given is to take this top door, which is an immediate exit from the airport, or the lower door, which is going to take you straight through to the baggage carousels. Now, I'm sure some of the passengers will get a bit weird and take the wrong one and go sort of back out and around into this door, but it's whatever. I'm not super stressed about it. It's not really the end of the world. It'll be fine. What we'll do though is set up a couple of baggage claim areas in here because I think we want to get probably just 2 on either side. So a little 16x8 space there and a 16x8 space there will be pretty good. We can do exactly the same thing just here. So 16x8 and 16x8. And then for the carousels, I love the idea of using the high-speed conveyor belts. I love the mental image of someone like sprinting around the room trying to find their bags and catch them from the carousel. I think that's hilarious. But we're not going to do that because we'll just use these sort of more normal looking ones here. I'm wondering if I want to do something different with the carousels though. Maybe like a figure 8 type deal. I don't really know if there's any benefits to doing it this way, but I think we'll just do this to be a bit different with it. So I want to have that go up here, take that out. Can I get this to behave? I don't think it's gonna behave. I might have to take this back a little bit and do something a bit more like that. And that's also not central. So you have to go back and then you go here. So something like that. I think that's kind of cool. It's different, you know, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit interesting. It's kind of cool looking. And then what we can do is get we'll get the sections that come up shortly. What I'll do is just copy this and put it there. And then on the other side, we can go ahead and do exactly that same thing. I think this one's just going to be rotating slightly differently. No, they're all rotating in the same direction, which is totally fine. So what we'll do is go to conveyor belts. We'll go to high speed escalator up. And what we'll do is just put them there. So the bags are going to come, they're going to come up pretty quickly. Oh, that one is rotating in a different direction. Interesting. Okay, so all of the bags are basically going to come up sort of there on that side. And then over here, can I do kind of the opposite of that? Is that something I can get away with? I guess technically it is. So we'll go and do this. And ooh, that kind of screwed up that corner though, which I don't love that it's done that, but I guess we'll see if I can fix that. I actually really don't like that it screwed up the corner. Did I screw it up on this side as well? Or is it actually behaving the way I want it to? It is behaving the way I want it to. I'll tell you what, let's take those out and do them slightly differently so that they're not going to screw up my corners. And what we'll do is just put them so there, so it doesn't screw up the corner. We'll go ahead and put it there so it doesn't screw up that corner either. And then we'll just do, again, sort of mirror image on this side. So you go away, and then this guy's going to go here and is going to go there. And that should be just fine. So that'll work pretty well. Obviously, we still need to connect all the conveyor belts around, and it's going to be a whole thing, but that's not too bad. That's really not too bad. I'm kind of pleased with the layout that we've got going on here. I think it'll work. I think it'll be efficient. I don't love that there's only 6 security checkpoints, but I think it'll be all right. I suppose at this point we should probably put some seating into this space as well. So let's do this and let's do this. We'll leave a nice gap in the middle. We'll do some seats kind of down at the bottom as well. And we'll not do any at the top because that's kind of the entrance and exit. So we'll just do some small seats kind of dotted around the sides. And honestly, that should be okay. That should be more than enough for this entire space. Not on that side because obviously that's, again, kind of like a way in. But we can do here, we can do here. And you know what? I guess we can go there and there as well. And that really should be enough seating. Should be. And you know what? I suppose at this point, I want to get some infrastructure in here as well. I want to get some parking lots. I think that'd be a great idea. And we have this beautiful space down here where we can get away with some parking lots. So let's just go 1, 2 parking lots there. Can I get one in there? No. So we're going to have 4 parking lots, which is probably fair enough. I can get another one down here if I want to, but I don't really want to. We'll do the 4 parking lots. We'll go ahead and bring this public road the entire way across here, which I think is probably fair enough. So I'll just stretch it the entire way across because it'll probably expand at some point. What we can do with this public road is get some car stops on here. I think that might be a good idea. So we can do some car stops like basically along all of this if we want to. So let's do, I almost like the idea of having the car stops be further down, but I don't know how well that's going to play. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 car stops there. We'll do the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. We'll do some taxi stops a little bit further back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 5 of those as well. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those as well. Now the bus stops are an interesting one because the bus stops, I'm almost tempted to kind of do it this way, where the buses come in, kind of loop around and go back out. I don't hate the idea of doing that, or I can just put them on the road. That's an option as well, is just have them be on the road. Maybe just spaced out a little bit further so the bus stops are like here. Maybe I think that's how we'll do it. We'll do the bus stops right about there, and that should be fine. So we'll have 4 bus stops. If we need more, we can expand, but we'll just do the 4 of them for now. In fact, maybe 1 there as well. I think that's what we'll do. There's a reason I'm leaving those gaps. We'll do the bus stops like this. We'll get another couple of taxi stops as well. Just there and there. But what we can do now is go to public roads, and we can just say, you know, bring a public road down here, bring a public road here, and I guess just up like that. I was going to bring it through this space because it might look more interesting. In fact, I think I will still do that because it's just going to look a bit different. It's going to look a little bit interesting having the vehicles kind of loop down and around like that. Don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it makes all that much sense to do things that way for the vehicles, but that's how I'm going to do it just because it does look a little bit more interesting. It fills in some of the space, and that's kind of what I'm going for. And what we can also do is fill this space with some sidewalks so that people can get around. We'll do exactly the same thing on this side as well. We'll get some crosswalks in there. And then I would say that we're probably at a point where we can start building this. I'm well aware that there's nothing in the departures space at the moment, but I think I I don't think we can afford to build this, but I'm kind of at the point where I want to build this. So I might start building this. Oh, actually, we don't have to build it all in one go. We can build planned objects as we go along. So, oh man, I'm really, what happens if I just, can I get a price on all of this? Oh my God. Oh my God. If the game insufficient, I can, I think the game's really not happy with me right now. Oh, there we go. So I can't afford to build as much of this as I would like. That's fair enough. Let's build the sidewalks. Let's build like the front of the airport for now, and we'll get to the rest of this terminal a little bit later on. I want to see how much money it's going to cost just to build this front section alone, because it's expensive. I mean, it's going to be expensive. This entire build is going to be expensive, but I am really curious to see how much the entire thing's going to end up being. I'm slightly scared to find out how much the entire thing's going to end up being, to be quite honest with you, but we'll find out together is what we'll do. So 142,000 just for the sections highlighted in blue. That's a lot. It's a lot of money. Let's start constructing, I guess, to 60,000 for you. Can I build this entire front part of the airport? I kind of want to. I do kind of want to. I think we can afford it. Let me pause while I do this. We'll build up to here. Let me do exactly the same thing over here as well. I guess we might as well. We have got the money, I think, to build the front part of the airport. So we might as well just go ahead with it. To build all of you. And then we have this check-in space as well. So we'll go ahead and just sort of highlight all of this section. We're not going to have a back wall on this, but that's okay, I think. I want to say that's going to be all right. We have just spent $1.6 million. I don't know what we just spent $1.6 million on, but we just spent $1.6 million on what is arguably just about a third of this terminal. Oh boy, this is going to take a while. I might need to take a loan. I don't want to take a loan because I'm pretty sure a loan will bankrupt me in the long term, but this is going to take a while. I suppose now the only thing left to do is allow Terminal 2 to be built. It's going to take a while, which means we're going to have another little period of time here. Terminal 1 is not fully connected to other terminals. Ensure there's a pathway between all terminals. Interesting. Yeah, we're going to have to do that as well, which is a bit of a problem, but we'll get there. We can connect the terminals together in due time. I'm pretty sure we'll have to do some kind of tunnel. I would imagine we'll maybe tunnel under here and come out over here somewhere so that the vehicles can go underneath that runway. In fact, maybe that's something we should do now. I guess it wouldn't necessarily hurt to get that out of the way unless we want to do tunnels elsewhere, but I'm not really sure I can think of anywhere else. So yeah, very quickly, just before we go ahead to wrap things up a little bit, let's do road tunnel down. I'm going to say, honestly, I'm going to go a little bit closer to the taxiway for this, just so the vehicles can kind of like drive along a little bit. And then we want this to be a road tunnel. I guess road tunnel down again is what we can go for. And we just have it go, I guess, over here somewhere. Doesn't really matter where it goes. I'm going to say, honestly, I'm tempted to say just like here. It just goes straight across, or we have it go, yeah, I think we'll just do it sort of a straight across thing. So it goes straight under and it can come up. Honestly, probably there is fine. So we'll go ahead and do the tunnel there. We'll go ahead and get the service roads, which are going to cut straight across. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't want to build these yet. I need to go back into planning mode and do it that way. We're not building anything yet because we just don't need it. So service road tunnel down is going to be, I'm going to say right about here. And then this one is going to be, I guess, right about here. And that should be just fine. So now we connect these guys together like so. It cuts straight across, which is fine. We go underground. These guys go together like so. Back above ground, these guys go to here. So that'll be the connection between the two terminals. I don't know if that's the best way to do it. I don't know if that's the most efficient way to do it, but it's the way I'm going to do it. So there you go. That's as simple as that's going to be. I'm also going to do some service roads that go around these taxiways, I think, just because I can, and just because I think it'll look interesting. It'll be a way for vehicles to maybe get around a little bit better as well. So we'll see how that plays out. We've got access to this middle section. We got access to these side sections. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll figure it out in due time. For the time being, though, we kind of just need all of this to get built, and it's coming along, which is good. That's what we're looking for. It is definitely coming along. It's just a lot. It's going to be a lot to build. It's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be another few million, let's be quite honest. So I've got some waiting to do, which is totally fine. I'm willing to do the waiting, so you don't have to. The only thing you're going to have to wait for is the next episode, because that's when this is going to be done. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.